Hi everyone, and welcome to another fabulous car here on the Car Reviews podcast with CollectorCarCanada.CA. Today, you can see we have another red Ferrari. This is lot 242. It's a 1981 Ferrari 308 GTSi. So the S stands for Spider, indicating that this is a Targa roof, fixed rear window, as you can see from the photos in our detailed listing. And the I stands for injection, as in fuel injected, because the original 308s that came circa 1975 were carbureted. And don't confuse it with the 308 GT4, which is a four-seater. The GTB and the GTS are all two-seaters like this one. So Rosso Corsa, race red, translated directly from Italian, on a beautiful tan interior for this one. The miles on this one are low. They read in miles, and it's under 38,000 miles. So take a look at our detailed listing, again, lot 242, for more information about all that. So I'm going to start it up, and we'll have a listen to the engine and the exhaust, and then of course we'll take a little exterior walk around, and we'll take a tour of the inside as well. So I have the key in my hand, so it's going to take me a minute to get the key into place. As you can see, we're filming this in February. The car was in storage. There are a couple shots of the car in the owner's garage. We're sitting on his driveway right now, about 35 feet from his garage, and it was attached to a trickle charger, and we didn't have any trouble starting it up. There's a startup video on the detailed listing as well. So the car's been started today. It has not been driven farther than the 35 feet I just described. So relatively cold start, but not ice cold start. Ice cold start, please refer to the video on the detailed listing. So here we go. I neglected to mention already, I'm sure it'll come up when I give the tour of the interior, gated shifter on this 5-speed manual, as you'd expect. So I have the clutch in, I've got the car in neutral and the handbrake on, so here we go for a start. No trouble at all with that start, nice and clean, and sounds really healthy. We'll get a little closer sound to the exhaust when I handhold the camera to watch it. So, we'll let it idle, have a little listen. And now I'll hop out and change camera. All right, so I've got the engine cover up. Here's a glam shot, 3/4 view from the driver's side. But as promised, let's go take a closer look at that engine and get a good listen to it. Really clean engine bay on this 81 308 GTSi. That's a good listen to the engine, and I'll get up close to the exhaust here. We got twin exits on either side. Now you can see this spinal cover is zipped up and closed. We do have photos of what's underneath on the detailed listing. The owner told us that it's an area down there that can be susceptible to rust, but we pulled up the carpet to give you the peace of mind that there's no rust down there. So again, take a look at our detailed listing for lot 242 to get a sense of that. I'll do a quick walk around with the car running, so you can hear that idle from the various angles. Quite a sexy look with the even with the engine cover up. And the prancing horse up front, both here as an emblem and down here on that intake. And while the car's running, I should probably show you those retractable headlights in the up position. Had those up. We do have stills of them on the detailed listing. So light switches here, kind of like a Japanese style actually, but we'll show you the operation of them. So you can see no trouble at all with the retractable feature. I didn't have that headlight operation right. You can see right here, there's another adjustment to get those headlights to the on position, which they're in right now. So we'll cut the engine, turn off those lights, and continue with our exterior tour. So I was saying earlier how the 308 began in 1975, but those 308s were carbureted. They moved to the injection in the early 80s. As I say, this one is a 1981, very well known, of course, from the Magnum PI series. I believe there were 8 seasons of Magnum PI, and this would have been the second last car used in the series. I think maybe seasons 5, 6, maybe 4, 5, 6. It started with the carbureted because this one wasn't available when the show started, and then there was a Quattro Valvole at the end, which the end for this car was 1984. So another neat feature on this car, certainly a conversation piece. There's a set of Michelin TRX tires. So TRX wheels. You can see the sizing is a little different than standard, but the owner also has a set of wheels with brand new tires, refinished wheels with brand new tires for a 328. He's offering with this car, should the new owner wish to convert to the more standard sizing. These tires you see here are well, I'm certainly not a mechanic. I don't write safety checks, but they're a little on the old side. So check our detailed listing, as I say, for lot 242 for the details on the alternate set of Ferrari wheels with a brand new set of tires. So in getting to know this car, I've spent a couple of hours with it. I was lucky enough to be charged with the responsibility of the photos and videos for the detailed listing. It's pretty clean. I saw a tiny bit of stone chipping here on the black portion of the bumper, but even this lower air dam is quite clean. And as you saw, the headlights came up without any trouble, but even these black vents behind the headlights are really free of any noticeable marking. It's really hard to pick up in the lighting, but we did our best to show that this windshield is a Sigla windshield, so that's a quality European brand, might even be original. I'll leave the peanut gallery to do the homework on that one. So I did talk about the S for Spider. So it's a Targa top. So the black portion of this, it's got a nice vinyl finish, and that's removable. Again, even the Targa top is really free of any noticeable marks. There's maybe just a little mark there, but no chipping or breaks in the vinyl, certainly. I'd say the same for the vent work here on the rear side, and this intake along there is nice and clean too. So you can see where air gets fed into the engine. You might have noticed when I shut the car off, this is the door latch right here, and you got to give it a good firm shut, good firm push like you'd expect from an 80s Ferrari, made of steel. The original 308s were made of I think they called it glass dipped plastic, so pretty much fiberglass, but they had trouble with that and moved to steel. So this is a steel-bodied car. I mentioned the TRX tires. They're a square setup, so same sizes all the way around. You can see they're 220 55 VR 390. That's a TRX specific sizing. The 328 set that comes with the car is a set of 16s, whereas the ones on the car right now are 15-inch. So here's maybe the biggest mark I've seen on the car so far, just on this little accessory light. I want to think it's wax, but I'm not going to scrape too hard on that. But just like I just said about the driver door, the engine compartment cover needs a good push down. There's a latch on either side, and if you just let it fall, I noticed that it doesn't really completely shut, but we've got it shut now, and it's got a nice gap there. You can see the venting above the engine here, and if I get in close, you can see some of the engine there. But good, sort of designed with cooling in mind, of course. And then, as I say, GTSi, so S to denote the Targa roof, and I for the fuel injection. 308, there's a lot of logic behind that as well. It's a 3-liter, 8-cylinder engine, midship mounted. And here's another look at the exhaust pipes without the car running. So you can see nice chrome-tipped dual exits on either side. Got the prancing horse on the opposite, the 308 GTSi badging, and then a Ferrari emblem right here on the rear deck. And working our way around. We're not blessed with quite as good a light as when we started the video, but it's always good to see the finish in various lights. Now, I'm never sure about these cars till I go see them, but I'm sure now about this one. The paint really does pop. It's actually kind of fun to be shooting this in the snow because the red is providing a great contrast against the snow. The typical Rosso Corsa, it is really popping. So I'll get a closer look at the venting up front. Now, just behind the chrome prancing horse, you might be able to see it through the venting there. There are a couple fans and a radiator up front, despite the midship engine. And that gives you a good look at that front air dam and how good the paint is on it. But I like to show any flaw I can find. I do see a bit of light cracking on each of these indicator lenses, and it looks like it's on the inside of the lens. I can feel it with my finger, but not very strong. I think if we felt it on the inside of the lens, it would be a little more noticeable. So all in all, lot 242, a 1981 Ferrari 308 GTSi, quite a pristine package. So we'll climb into the car, take a look at the cabin. I will sit on the edge here. I'm not going to bring my dirty boots into the cabin here, but you can see the instrumentation. The red line's at about 7750 on that 10,000 RPM tachometer. We've got a fuel gauge, water temperature gauge, and oil temperature in the center, with the speedometer on the left very modestly maxing out at 80 miles an hour. But that was the state of the world in 1981. It was a federal law in the US that maximum reading could be 85 miles an hour. So where that coloring starts after the 80, that's to indicate 85 miles an hour. But as you can see, a 6-digit mechanical odometer reading 37,146 today. So this car will be delivered to its new owner with under 38,000 miles. I don't expect there'll be more than 1 or 2, if any, before it goes to its new owner. But there's a good look at it. This chrome latch release is for the front trunk. We'll take a look at that. There's a spare tire up there matching to the set of wheels that are on the car. That's just a little storage cubbyhole. And of course, the magic of these 80s Ferraris that most people are after, that gated shifter sitting in neutral right now. Water temperature gauge there in the center with a clock which is functional. I'm going to take a look at my watch and I will tell you that the time is 3:45 here in the afternoon. And I'll also add that I did check it earlier and the time was accurate. So we got our functional clock.
We've got an updated aftermarket pile head unit with clock, as well as inputs for accessory and USB.
And we've got a nice Ferrari emblazoned, I guess I'd call that an ashtray, but I didn't see a lighter. Certainly it doesn't, it's free of any ashes. And the up and down indicating buttons are for the windows, as you might guess. We've got HVAC and AC controls here. Oh, here's the lighter right here. And some other switch gear. Even the boot for the handbrakes got that beautiful tan leather, Italian leather. Neat GTSi emblem over here on the right side of the dash. But a tidy package. Again, 2 seats in the GTSi in this case. It's only the early GT4s that had 4 seats. So they would have been, they started in 75, but they didn't last much longer than that. Little bit of space in behind each seat here, but not a lot of space.
As I say, we'll show you that front storage compartment in a minute.
But neat curved glass here in the rear. Reminds me of a 348 we sold just a couple of months ago, whose owner is really happy with it, I might add. But yeah, that curved glass is consistent with this class of Ferrari at the time. So designed by Pininfarina, as you might expect. This car's design, the specific designer is the same fella who designed the Daytona, which of course has skyrocketed in value in recent years, as well as the Berlinetta Boxer. So certainly that good lineage for the car in terms of its designer, specific designer at Pininfarina. We do see a few signs of for the last couple of months of storage here at the owner's home. There are a few bits of dust here and there. You probably noticed some in the engine compartment when we looked at the engine as well, but a really clean car otherwise. So yeah, the sun's kind of fading here, but as I say, that's probably good. We get to see the quality of the paint in different light.
While we're at it here, we'll take a look at the front storage compartment.
So front hinge on this, and you can see that catches to leave it open. And an original TRX tire here. I did notice the radial X marking indicating the Michelin brand is probably down in there. But it looks like an unused tire. Certainly great for provenance, maybe not so great for use. And there's that radiator with the 2 fans I mentioned in place. So I call this an engine storage compartment. That's probably not a fair assessment. I suppose it's appropriate for tire storage, but that's about it. So to release, I press the button on this little shock absorber type item, and I'll let it down pretty slowly here. And we'll take a look too at the engine compartment without the engine running. Here's the release here. We've got a picture of that data plate on the detailed listing for lot 242. You want to take a close-up look at it, that's your spot. And here's a good look at the 3-liter 8-cylinder midship mounted engine. It's matched up with a 5-speed transaxle, and I've already mentioned how it features the gated shifter. We took a look at that in the interior as well. But all in all, very clean engine compartment here. And we're planning to also have some driving videos on the listing, so you can get a sense of the sounds of the engine just a little better than idle if you take a look at that. We've also got a close-up of this data plate on the detailed listing for lot 242. That's just setting out oil specs. But yeah, for a guy my era, it's just exciting to see the red trim on the valve covers and such. So yeah, transverse mounted. You can see that we've got 4 cylinders in front of the oil filter and 4 cylinders in the rear of it. I'm just going to take another shot of that profile with the engine cover up. It really does look neat. So we'll close that up and move on to some closing thoughts. One last lap around it for posterity's sake as the sun fades a little bit here in the afternoon. You can see the lights illuminated on the detailed listing as well for lot 242. But that's a good look at this this beautiful 1981 Ferrari 308 GTSi. Okay, so that's a good look at our 1981 Ferrari 308 GTSi. Again, under 38,000 miles on the 6-digit odometer, 3-liter, 8-cylinder engine, mounted midship, transverse mounted, 5-speed transaxle with the gated shifter, Ferrari's trademark at the time. So again, it's lot 242 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. We know this Ferrari is going to make someone happy, maybe it'll be you, but do take a look at our detailed listing. Hundreds of photos there, as well as other demo videos, clean Carfax and a paragraph form listing there. So please do take a look. Again, lot 242, CollectorCarCanada.CA.
Thank you for watching, and on to the next car.